The adult beverages are poured, the kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old.
So much to discuss, and on the gaming side, we have some interesting uses for Switch. But a bit more pertinent to that would be a host of medical issues, unfortunately, that have befallen the kids of the new dads. And we'll get yours into a bit because I like your angle on the story a bit more than my own. So, because on my side, my son had been outputting some things he shouldn't be outputting, is maybe the kind of nicest way to put it, which had us pretty worried. Right?
Yeah.
I'll let your Matt. You can kind of take that however you will. So we went off to get some tests. We went to see possibly what was happening, and ultimately what came about is that he's allergic to milk protein.
Oh no!
Which is so. The problem is, like, if it's lactose, you can deal with it, right? Because you can just get lactose-free milk and even like pop the pills. But this is like just protein, so no milk, no cheese, and that's
nothing.
And the first thing my head goes to, though, is just, this is the kid's birthday party, no pizza, ice cream with friends, can't do it. It's just all of these,
all doom and gloom.
The projection of no pizza ever. Like, imagine like pizza parties. Like, what on earth are you gonna do? Cheeseburgers. Like the place where your dad head goes when this stuff befalls the kid. Like, it's kind of just a diet change, so be it. You know, I've heard some people say, you're not really supposed to be, humans aren't really that well built to take dairy anyways. It's almost this weird anomaly that we do. But, man, it's just like, and it doesn't help. Like, he's a skinny little guy. He's never been a big eater. So to already have that stacked against him, and now I've lost this entire category of tasty, fatty food. It's just like, frig, man.
Yeah, it's a little bit like frustration, right? You're like, oh, come on, this could have been easier. Now you gotta show up with a pre-packed lunch for those birthday parties and be like, here you go. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Yeah. You're fine.
Yeah.
So many people are allergic to things.
It is a new world. Like, I will say, like, the school, as soon, like, hearing this, like, immediately tried to help out. Like, okay, we're not going to give them this and this stuff. Like, it certainly is a new world as far as, look, a lot of people are allergic to a lot of things, so we'll try to help everybody out, fortunately.
Right.
But still, man, it's just like, to have anything stacked against your kid is just, it's really defeating. Like, it's a very awful feeling. Because it is. You can't just work hard and fix it. It's just a reality that you're gonna have to go through now.
Yeah, and sometimes it's dealing with, like, I don't know. You always thought your kids or other friends that have had kids, they're like, oh, why is everything perfect for you? And then you have to deal with, like, whatever, right? Whatever comes your way.
Yeah, so. Well, that's just the story of my life. Because, like, every kid I've known from every kid from my friend, like, all my friends' kids, they sleep great. They eat wonderfully. Yes. They're super calm and polite. It seems like they just sit on the floor and draw quietly for hours. And I got these devil kids who don't eat. They don't sleep. They have boundless energy, despite no eating, no sleeping. Like, just like, where are you getting the energy?
Yep.
And that's my story. So an interesting take on it, but. But for yourself, though, you had a bit of a scary run-in and a bit of a reaffirming of how great of investment a Switch was.
Yes, that's true. So, yes, good segue into this. A little scary story. I'll start it with everything's fine, but we had to go to Emerge with our youngest. So we noticed that when he got home from school, he got sent home from school a little early. That morning he had kind of a low fever, so we gave him some medicine, sent him on his way, because it wasn't really much to worry about. It was just, again, low grade. Kids get a whole bunch of stuff. So anyway, sent him to school. he gets sent home a little bit early, just like he doesn't go to the aftercare. We pick him up. His fever is kind of coming back. He's not really, acting like himself. Then all of a sudden, give it an hour after medicine, it goes way up. So I run him to the clinic. So we would do a walk-in clinic. He's like, no, everything's fine. Listen to his lungs. Took his fever. His fever's gone. Nothing.
Oh, that's the worst. When it's just
nothing's there, right? So he's like, no, you're good. You're good. Just go home. You just get plenty of rest. Pump the water into him. It's fine. So he slept on the couch with me because he was just not himself. And as a parent, you can totally tell when, they're not 100%. So I kept him on the couch downstairs. I watched him, and like his breathing was rapid, man. And it was freaky. And we've been through this with our oldest. Like, he kind of have a touch of asthma as younger years and kind of grew out of it. But we knew where this was going. I kind of like watched him a little bit through the night. Woke up at 4 a.m., kind of paced, and then at 5 a.m., 5:30, woke up my wife, and we're like, got to take him to the ER. There's no way around this. So fortunately, we had to go through there. That was an awful experience. Just we got right in. No wait times. Canada is great for the healthcare system. No wait times. Got in. Perfect.
Yeah.
Got seen right away. Didn't know what it was though. They had no idea. They're like, high fever. He's coughing. His heart rate's off the charts. Breathing heavy. Had X-rays done. Nothing in his lungs. So they're like, we don't know. So that was a good reassurance of everything. But eventually, it did come to pass that we had to keep him overnight. And just for observation and stuff, things were just, we weren't comfortable taking him home. So they kept him overnight, monitored him. They did some tests. It came back as influenza A. So I will say on the show now that half of us in our family, the responsible half, my wife and my oldest, got their shots.
They're responsible half. Nice.
Yep. Yes. So they got their shots. They got their flu shots. My youngest and myself, we did not. We were supposed to. Then life happened. Never got around to it. And I will say now, get your flu shots. It will save you a world of hurt. Just
especially if you got kids.
Don't. Exactly. Just zap them. Get them done.
If you have sick bags that are the kids,
yes.
just like little sponges of disease that are constantly coming back into your house, especially. Or if especially they go to school or daycare, it's just disease city. Anything you can give to your kid to prevent them from getting sick. Yeah, like
any vaccine out there, just exactly.
Everyone take it.
We were the perfect test case for this. So yes, flu shots. But what was cool, where the video gaming comes in, was in the hospital just to keep his spirits up. My wife had stayed overnight with him, and they were kind of exhausted. So the next day, I thought it'd be kind of cool to bring the Switch over. Which is a perfect portable console that you need to get, Trevor.
I know.
Set it
Keeps
up.
getting mentioned.
That's right. Set it up on his little, those little tables that kind of roll over the hospital beds. Usually
we put that really
sweet.
You put that really sweet Jello on it.
Right, exactly. So replace that with a Switch, and me and him played some Smash Brothers, which was amazing, and right back to himself. Right, he was on the mend, but it just kind of brightened up his day a little bit more. So that was good to see. We had a good time. We just had to burn time until the doctor came around and kind of gave us the all clear. So that kind of helped that morning go a little faster, and it kind of took off, him not whining, but, needing us a little bit more, and gave my wife a break. So we could just kind of game together and get back into the old swing of things without worrying about hospital stuff and doctors and tests and all that stuff. So I will vouch for the flu shot and the Switch to help out this dad in a hospital situation.
And not interchangeably. So don't choose one or the other. Go both.
No, both. It's got to be both. Get your flu shot, then get a Switch as a reward. Why not?
There it is. Were there any other kids in the hospital who were enviously looking at you guys playing and I'd like to play? It's you might have the plague. You're not allowed to touch this thing.
Well, a lot of it, no kids, because we were in isolation, so there's nobody allowed in our room. But all the nurses that came in, they're like, oh, like they didn't know what it was. You know how they're like, is that a Game Boy? Like they had no idea. I'm like,
is that a
no? This is what it is now. This is amazing. You need to. They're like, oh, what's your favorite character? So my son answered all their questions. He was over the moon.
Yeah, I bet. And like, gather around, ye nurses. See, that's how you get better better service too. You know, the doctor wants to come in, get a couple rounds in between shifts.
I did bring extra controllers, so if he had no calls to make, he could have just joined in. We could have had that going. So it was open invite.
There's just patients running around. Like there's patients like around the block, and he's just like, no, just look. I'm a Donkey Kong. Like I got this match. This is going to be great. Doctor, please. There's kids that need to see you. Oh man,
we got a code smash, room 111.
Yeah, the whole hospital just comes over. It's like a very sad Nintendo commercial. Man, that console just keeps on giving. So I was curious because
it really does.
There's a rumor around that they were talking about a smaller, cheaper Switch coming out this year.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I don't know that smaller is much of a benefit. Like
I don't think so. Really it's pretty small. I don't know.
And
like,
cheaper,
smaller,
yes,
less powerful. Yeah, cheaper.
But I kind of feel I don't. It just doesn't seem to make a lot of sense as far as it just came out. It's selling like gangbusters still. Like, why would you need to go cheaper? Like, why would you bother? You don't need to for a while.
No, you really don't, and you're cannibalizing the 3DS. I think that's on its like last legs. But I would think that you kind of splinter your base as well. If you make it less powerful, I don't know if any new games coming out for the Switch, you almost want to go the opposite way and do the Switch Pro. I know Nintendo's not about graphics, but they're getting a lot of good third-party support with, more graphic intense games, even Doom, stuff like that's coming out. That's a couple of years old, but now this console can play it. Skyrim, like stuff that's, again, more graphic intensive, but I think you want to go the opposite way, just kind of meet... Not more expensive, though. It can't be more expensive. That's the problem.
Historically, though, like if you look at Nintendo, it's always like there's like the 2DS or what was the flat one? I think that was called 2DS, wasn't it? Right.
2DS,
so it's just,
yes.
It doesn't even fold. It's just like it's
no,
this weird flat like piece of plastic.
Yes.
So it always seems like they've gone down as opposed to like scaled up like Xbox and Microsoft. So I don't know. I think I wouldn't be surprised. It just the timing feels off. Like maybe next year. I'd have a hard time believing it comes out this year. If I can save some money on a Switch, like.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Like you might as well, get one on clearance or something.
On clearance, yes. No, just wait for the small cheap one. It's just too big, Jeff. I can't use the current one.
Okay.
But that's the. No, we'd plan to do this later, but that is just it's too perfect a transition. Not to mention, because we're talking Switch, we're talking Smash, and this features very prominently in the Gaming Dad Victory of the Week. So each week we feature an exceptional gaming dad, and often their kids who are doing fatherhood and gaming so well. So this week's victory goes to gaming dad Josh, who had a smashing success bringing his kids' sleepover together with gaming. So Jeff, why don't you walk us through the photo? And I'm going to try to put it up live.
I can see if I can get it on video. Hold on, I'm close up. Boop. Here we go. Look at this. Okay. So for anybody listening, we have a Smash Brothers Ultimate Sleepover, which is amazing to me, where this guy's daughter is having a sleepover with 3 other friends, and they're all playing Smash, and they just unlocked one of their favorite characters, which is Peach, with screams of glee, and they're all pointing at the screen, ready to play. They're all having fun. Everybody looks like they're helping each other. There's no fighting, which is great to see. And I will say that has been my own experience with this game. It's something that just brings out cooperation for some reason, like a fighting game. I don't know how it does it, but I had more cooperation in this game with my son's friends over than I did with Mario Party, which was all blood. Like people hated each other on that game. This Smash Brothers game just brings people together.
Yeah, it's like Mario Party is like the Monopoly of the digital age now.
Yeah, it really is. What do you mean you did that to me? But no, this is kudos to this dad and his daughters playing, or his daughter and friends playing. Smash Ultimate.
Yeah, and Josh put it really well. So first, the title of the post gives it a good bit of background, and then we actually reached out and he gave us a great summary. I'd like to read both. So, my kids are having a sleepover with a friend at our house. I bought Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and they love it. With 3 girls, it's hard to be a hero in things that they're interested in. However, when I unlocked Peach, there was a roar of girlish glee and cheers. Loved this game in 1999. Love it today. So we reached out to Josh for a comment on this massive victory, and he gave us a little bit more background on it. So from Josh, it was definitely the first big success that we could all play together and have loads of fun. I bought Ori and the Blind Forest on PC, and they loved watching it but couldn't really participate. They love to tool around in Minecraft on our PS4, but it's mainly the older 2 playing. My wife and I, along with our youngest, aren't really interested in that. So fast forward to when my sweet younger brother decided to give me his old Switch to see if the girls would like it. They fell in love with Mario Kart and Mario Party, but ultimately we landed on Smash and couldn't get enough. As far as consoles in the house, I mainly play PC after they go to sleep, and they mainly play PS4. Minecraft now and Lego Marvel Superheroes in the past. The Switch is newer for us, but definitely the prime console that we come around and have an evening of couch gaming as a family. Man, Josh, that's awesome. I love it. Even like
great story.
Talk about like the younger bro stepping up with giving him his older Switch. Oh, bro of the year.
Yeah.
Like
perfect.
Like it.
Yeah.
Oh, every year. So man, for switching it up to bring the kids all together, Josh has won this week's Gaming Dad Victory of the Week. Congratulations.
And you got a dad pun.
There's always room for a dad pun, bud. If you would like to be nominated for Gaming Dad Victory of the Week or know somebody else deserving, please reach out to us on our website, New Dad Gaming, or hit us up on our Facebook group. So, for a game that's not necessarily kid-proof, I guess the first one I want to talk about is just a quick update on my journey across the galaxy in Distant Worlds 2 with Elite Dangerous. Dads in Space, space trucking. The New Dad Gaming minibus is roaring across. It's been great. So they hit it was kind of nice because the first place was actually like a base where you could dock your ship. And sorry, a bit of context for everybody. Elite Dangerous being this massive online space sim. Space is modeled after our Milky Way galaxy, so it's wild, like the size of this thing. It's massive. You can do anything in your spaceship. It's a fantastic online game. Lots of love for it from me. Distant Worlds 2 is a player-run mission where they're trying to reach the furthest point in the galaxy, which is going to happen over 18 weeks.
Yeah, I was waiting for that timeline. The 18 weeks. Right?
Yes. So there's jump to jump. So you, as your ship, you have to jump from system to system based on stars. To give you some context, like to get to the first waypoint, it took me 150 jumps. To get to the second one, it took me like 120. This new one was like 130. Same thing. So these are not small undertakings necessarily.
No, but that's not.
So I made it to the first base, as I alluded to last week. Was able to sell a whole bunch of data, made millions. It was amazing. So I was doing the same thing, getting to the next place. There's no base there, right? It's just a dead planet with like a abandoned space observatory. And I land, and I'm like, I'm sitting on like 8 million worth of data. It's kind of like, I can't sell this, and if I die, it's just gone.
Yeah.
And we're blasting across now to the third waypoint, and I think I'm about halfway there. Same thing. I don't know that we're gonna hit another base. So like from here on out, if I take damage, because I'm running super hot, like I'm doing loose, fast and loose, right? Because I did not have a lot of time to prepare a ship. I have no ships. I have no repair modules. I only ever have enough fuel for one jump, at which point I have to scoop more. So I plan my route based on like just stars that can give me fuel. Some stars give you fuel, some don't. So like this, it is a reckless ship, right? It's the best I could do in the short notice.
It's like taking a road trip with one diaper. You have one diaper. You just got to make it count. You're like,
that is a perfect analogy. So, anyways, so I made it to the second place. No station. I don't think we're going to see another station for the whole time. And trying to make my way to now what would be the third waypoint, and then the next one will start as of Sunday. So it's
still doing
it's wild,
You're
man.
on,
Like,
way.
so, and I'm telling you, like, I talked about next week, so I don't want to get too much into it, but it is just a weird gaming experience in such a nice way. I'm sleeping great. It's so chill.
There you go.
Buddy,
yeah, perfect.
It's so because I'm telling you, it's just not very involved. It's weirdly interesting, as if filling in a like crossword puzzle, in that it's not taxing and stressful to the max, right? This isn't a first person shooter. You're just floating through space following the path. I have Netflix rolling on the side, and that's something I don't do. Because with my limited dad free time, you know, it's like, okay, you get like 30 minutes now to do something adult. I tend to lean towards reading or gaming, not like movies and shows, although I love them. But now I'm like dipping both. I'm getting best of both worlds, buddy. Like I'm a distracted
multitasking. This is great. Yeah, perfect.
I'm a distracted space driver. I'm the worst. I'm like with a Tesla watching videos in the middle console. Instead of paying attention.
Let it ride. Just take me where I want to go. It's all good.
So if nothing else, I think it's almost just like a different approach to gaming during this time of space trucking while catching up on some shows that I wanted to watch for a long time. So I don't know, man. It's a blast.
It's working out. Yeah, I like it. This is a perfect dad road trip.
Yeah, it's great. I think it's a great dad experience.
Virtual.
Yeah. Now you want to know what's not a great dad experience? Apex Legends. Like it's just okay. So I'm being a bit like tongue in cheek. Brent, from the developers of Titanfall, dropped out of the middle of nowhere. This isn't a beta.
This isn't completely out of left field.
They dropped just the entire full game, completely free. It's going to be supported by microtransactions, and out of nowhere. And even more surprising though is like the reception, because initially you hear it and it's like, okay, it's a Titanfall game, except it's like Overwatch and it's like Fortnite. Like
Battle Royale game is all you hear, and you're like, oh.
And EA's involved, and it's just like,
that
sounds gross. That's like you're chasing an older, like a bunch of fads. Like you checked all the boxes of the fads, and you're going to be released by EA. Like how the hell is this
just push it
possibly
out.
Good?
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's amazing. Like it is a lot of fun, and like it's so wild. Can you believe that it's actually a great time? Like
that's really surprising to me. Yeah.
So it has some of the nuances of any of the battle royales. So you're on a team of 3, so it's always you and 2 other people. No other modes at the moment. It's straight up Fortnite ripoff. You start in a ship, you like fly down. But what's interesting is you're paired with 2 other people, and one of them is a jump master. So one person in your party chooses where you go, and you jump all together, and then the person steers the 3 of you towards the Earth. Right? So like you're all just...
That's good.
So the one guy says, we should go here, and he drives you down. You can go on your own, but it's a dick move, and you're going to die. Now, you've chosen a character at this point, and this is it's just Overwatch, right? So you have like a hunter guy who can see where people have gone. You have the tanks, you have the medics. But they have supers and big abilities, exactly like Overwatch. So you have an ultimate, which is a really powerful thing. You have like other quicker abilities you can do all the time. There's the movement is very fast. Then it's a first-person shooter. So you're right inside. Think very much like Titanfall. It's got that feel. It's in the universe, they've stated. No wall running, but you can jump, you can slide, you can grapple. So there's all these like ropes going across, and you hook on. So picture it though. So you've gone through it. I'm going to pick the poisonous gas dude, who's kind of like a tank.
Okay.
And the other guy's a jump leader, so he chooses, okay, let's go over to this ridge here. There's good stuff. You go blasting down, and he's controlling all 3 of your movement. There's crates, and you're getting armor. You can you load up on particular armor pieces, good helmet, good chest piece. You can get, this is a great gun, but then you can get mods for the gun, which is from a dad perspective, at least for my own, it's a little bit too complex. Like to know, we had a hard enough time determining. If you remember in our Fortnite adventures, like we had a really hard time determining. It's like, is this better? Is this
just don't go there. Just don't, like, again, they even had a color coding system, and I was like, I guess purple's good.
And that exists. So imagine that, but also now you can have modifications for your weapons.
To those weapons, yeah, that's nuts. No.
Yeah. So they're pretty good about just kind of leading you along. I think, like, if it's better, the better piece, if you have a piece, you pick up a better one, it will kind of slot in automatically. So they do some niceties on it. But otherwise, like, it's just a lot more fast paced, and you're running around, you're ziplining, you're shooting, you have these abilities, so that kind of makes this interesting thing. There is a teamwork element. Now we have Matthew watching live with us, and he reminds us here, he likes the emphasis on teamwork. You can mark and call out loot and enemies. Like, that's an awesome point. So one of the buttons is dedicated to call outs. So you can say, there's the double tap is like, hey, there's the enemy, and you tag them, and all your teammates can see them. You can say, I think we should go here. And people can say, like, yay or nay. I'm going this way. There's armor here. Hey, everybody, like, there's loot. There's this gun. There's this whatever. So it's, without requiring, like, the headset and the talking, there's just, like, all this communication that's very simple. So it is, like Matt's dead on, it is very focused on teamwork. But in some ways that kind of avoid the toxicity of having live chat, right?
Well, that's what I was wondering too, and I read on the ping system. That's the ping system, right? Where you can do it just totally off chat, and it reminds me of Battlefield, where you, if you were just a soldier or whatever, you could mark your enemies, and that these games kind of lost that. It was more about online chat communication, which as a dad doesn't always work. So it's good to play silently.
My kids are sleeping. Let's go kill them. Yeah. It's like, what?
Yeah.
What do you say?
Music. Yeah, nothing. Yeah, exactly. Just ping it. Okay, let's do it. Perfect. That's good to hear.
Yeah, so it's surprising. And what was more surprising, like, so have you followed any of the online streamers or personalities and their reactions to it?
No, I think I've seen a lot of streamers go to stream it, but I haven't tuned in.
Okay, yeah, because if you watch some of their review videos, like, it's fascinating. Like, they're over the moon about it. That's a bit of hyperbole. They're very positive. They're having a lot of fun. They have the same surprise that we do. It's like Overwatch clone, Fortnite clone, published by EA, microtransactions.
Right.
Yeah, right. But then they play it. They're like, this is I'm having a lot of fun. This is so great. And you get some guys who go really deep, like Dr. Disrespect, for instance. Stated, like, this is the Fortnite killer. Like, this is going to be so much better than Fortnite, or at least he's having fun with it. Angry Joe absolutely adored it. He loved it. Like, just a lot of the big names were huge on it. So, man, where the heck did this come from? I heard
what I mean. Like,
making
it came out of nowhere, and it works, right? And it's something from Respawn, which is an amazing developer. But everyone was expecting, like, hey, Titanfall 3 drop, but instead it's this Apex, which, again, people are like, what about Titanfall 3? But then you get people playing it, and it looks like, you know, the tides have turned in favor of Apex. And I would almost say it's almost an Anthem killer. Like, Anthem's launching next week for full price tag, and I know it's not quite the same. It's more Destiny based, I guess, but, like, I don't know, there's a lot of open world game multiplayer things coming out right now that seems a little crowded.
Division. A buddy of mine said, hey, I have a beta key for the Division 2. Do you want in? And just like,
okay,
dude, I got kids, man. I don't, like, I'm trucking across space. This one thing. I got some, like, Apex Legends over here.
I can't do this.
I was curious because, like, I liked the idea of the Division. I was a little bit turned off. Full price, didn't have a good launch. Yeah. I think people liked it generally, but just it was, and I already had kind of pitched in with Destiny at that time, so it's like,
yes,
I spent my dad money on an open world shooter game. I can't do it again. So I'm kind of curious about it, but, like, geez, there's so much. Yeah, Anthem, Division 2, Apex Legends.
Yes.
Oof, Anthem. Do you have any? Well, let me wrap it up first on Apex Legends. Like, so are you going to download it and play it, or like, what's your take? You just want to like touch it? Are you like very interested to play it, or what's your take?
I like Titanfall 2, and with just the response of this and it actually working in the ping system and stuff, and again, free to play, I don't mind just downloading something, trying it out. I did that with Warframe, was addicted to that for a little bit. Yeah. So I can see, like, if it's something like again, free to play, I'm not grinding to get anywhere. It's more like cosmetically, like Fortnite, like you can buy battle passes and seasons and stuff like that. That's fine. I'm good with that. At least I get a game to play that, again, as a dad, I can kind of jump in and out, and I'm not really like fully worrying about losing my money or anything. Because again, if it's all free and I'm just playing for like online play, then I'm good. I'll try it out. It's not a problem. So you should meet up and we'll totally fail together.
Yeah, just see if we can hook up with some other dads and create the 3 team.
That's right.
We're last place every time.
Yes.
Now
this is how we do.
Actually, you reminded me of a thought that I had on these games, and I'd be curious your take on it. I think one of the things that turns me off now the most about this genre, though, is how long it takes you to get into a game, and then you die. Because I'm bad at these games. I'm going to die a lot, right?
Yes.
But it's by the time you're in the lobby and you say yes, I want to play, it connects you to a server. You're in the short bus and it's up in the sky, and you got to wait and you got to wait, and then you got to like fly down. You got to fly down. You got to fly down, and hopefully at some point you kind of survive. But the lobby to bus to launching to landing, like that takes so long, as opposed to something like a Halo 2. Or just like dead, count to 5, get back out there.
Yeah, match make, and then you're in. Yep.
Because even if you're going to die a lot, it's just still like, I want to play. Like, I don't want to see animations of me flying all the time, and I'm not going to live long because I suck at these games. Yeah, so I don't know.
I'll give it a shot. I'll be there with you. I'll die. We'll die together, and we'll just go. At least we can, chat offline about it and share our experiences on how we suck at it.
It'd be perfect if, much like in Fortnite where they released a creative mode, if they had kind of a old school mode for dads where it's just like 3-on-3, except you're just going to keep respawning all the whole I'd be all about that. I'd love that. That I could play for hours. But that segues nicely, because what is your hot take on Anthem with it coming out? Like, how on earth is that behemoth going to do?
I don't see it. I don't see it flopping. I think a lot of people like it. I am not really I'm not in. I don't know. I'm not going to buy it. Put it that way. I'm not. I saw too many problems with it. It was a rocky start. A lot of people are hopeful that as soon as it launches, it will fix, the connectivity issues. There'll be some upgrades to, I think, some polish to the visuals. I think that was a concern. A lot of the cosmetics were ridiculously priced, so maybe they'll hear the feedback on players on that. But it is a fully priced game. I just don't have the dad budget. It's just not on my wish list, really. So I'm not for it. People love it out there. I fully congratulate them. I hope it works out for them. I hope it doesn't break into pieces upon launch. But it just seems like this space of open world multiplayer, well, a lot of people, I think there's a lot of audience for it. It's getting really crowded and almost oversaturated, and you almost can't tell them apart anymore. Even with like Anthem and Apex, not saying the names are similar, but they're kind of close, and they're kind of sci-fi, Superman-ish, kind of Rocketeer almost looking, and it's just like there's a certain trend now. So I'm all for games that can carve out their piece of the pie, but I will not be picking it up. So I'm not sure about you. It's kind of more up your alley with Destiny and stuff, but I don't know.
Yeah, I enjoyed Destiny, but it was like had a great long story. I think Anthem has a bit of a story to it, but I got in and got out of Destiny pretty quickly, right? Like, it wasn't like it had his hooks in me for such a huge long time, like something like No Man's Sky, which is more up my alley. And it eventually eventually gets to a point where the end game stuff, where it's just grind for hours, get like this particular version of this little mod that'll then adjust this gun. It's just like, I don't care about that. And like, so it seems like these games eventually reach a point where you're just like, and you need to care a whole lot to keep going. And ultimately, compared to something like an Apex Legend, which is just that like hit of gaming each time, which is kind of fun. Get in, shoot 'em up, pew pew, get out. It's weird. It's almost like you want hubris to be checked, and in some ways for the game not to do that well, so that people better put their resources and don't just jump on trends. But then also, I hate to have just things fail for the sake of failing. So I hope it does fine. Like I hope it does great. I'm not going to be buying it now.
Yeah, I don't think it has the legs as some of these other ones. Like I think Warframe has survived quite a long time. I don't see Anthem surviving that long. Like it might be popular again when it comes out, but I don't know, maybe a year and it kind of makes a sequel, or there's something that needs to like pump it up again. But hopefully it works. Like I'm not wishing them bad luck. It's another game out there. We're all gamers. Want to see this stuff succeed. They all have teams, but yeah, if it's trying to like rob us blind, like let's put a stop to some of that.
$20 for a skin. $20 for a skin was the meme going around.
Little much. So
well,
we'll see.
Listen, man, only one game can really reach the apex, so that's the.
Oh, geez! Wow. Free flowing,
Thank you, everybody,
man.
for listening. Thank you so much for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming. If you'd like to subscribe to the podcast, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, and any of the other podcasting service. Just look for New Dad Gaming. If you'd like to reach out to us with a question, a show idea, you want to hook up on Apex Legends and have a game or two and show Jeff and I who's boss, you can find us on our website at newdadgaming.com or reach out to us on the Facebook group or Twitter. Thank you so much for listening. We'd really appreciate a like, a subscription, a comment, or a subscribe, as we're trying to reach as many dads as possible. Got to fill up this Gaming Dad League.
That's right.
And until next time, my name is Trevor, and I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old.
All right. See you next week.
See you in Apex.
Yeah.